No, there's no updates on Kathleen. It's really looking quite unlikely now that we've reached this stage of the season. I've always talked about really trying to divide up into thirds, and we're almost at that first third of the season gone, and also not in the position that we'd like to be. So time's critical, and it's looking highly unlikely that we'll get Kathleen out this season. Yeah, Matty Garrick is in town this week, and then heading off, I think around the 20th or thereabouts to go to Austria for the 3x3s, and then really, as we've talked about, it's wait and see what happens after that around what are their quarantine periods coming back in, if Australia qualifies for the Olympics. So really we won't know until the next month, but we've got Matty this week, and then we've got to start planning for life without Matty, at least for a period of time.
How's the mood? I mean, Brett was talking about putting an emphasis on the girls' program this year, and obviously that's been curtailed a little bit, not to no one's fault with COVID, but how's the feeling around the group and the club?
Yeah, the mood around the team is actually really good, and the players are sort of really trying to make steps forward. We've talked about disrupted pre-season and so forth, but now it's at a point where we've got no excuses. Most teams have had either players unavailable or injuries to deal with. So for us, being no wins from 5 games is unacceptable for the club. And I've talked about the playing group that this is a club we're back in the league, and we wanted to compete for a championship this year. I think those expectations are now do need to be adjusted for this season, but certainly for us, we're looking. This game it has to be a take care of business game for us on Friday night.
Yeah, is this the best chance of a win so far with their record on this?
Yeah, when we're looking at Diamond Valley, they're struggling, and I've watched some game film, and if you look at the stats, we're ahead in most categories. We're shooting the ball really poorly from the 3-point line, and that's been a real challenge for us. And the way teams are scouting us, they're actually now challenging. We've got a couple of players in particular who have struggled in that area, so we've got to look at other ways, get inside touches with Taylor Roberts and so forth, who have done a really efficient job. Just unfortunately, we've gone away from what's been working at times.
It's a chance, and your form hasn't been great. So do you start looking down the bench for people who are just like, because your effort is something that you can control?
Yep.
So do you start looking further down, or the rotation?
Yeah, absolutely. If I look at the game, and I look at my performance as a coach as well, and over the last couple of weeks, there's been some players that haven't played enough, and there's been some players that have played too much. So we absolutely need to make adjustments to the rotations. But you're right around effort. That's something that players can control. I can control that as a coach myself as well, the way I approach the game. So for all of us as individuals, we can absolutely control that, and I think that's something that we haven't applied for 40 minutes each game.
Is there anyone you're looking to sign? Is there anyone available out there that you could get in?
Yeah, we'd really look at any available players. The problem is, and I've talked about it, every other club is also looking at that. So really the best opportunity could be someone that comes back from a US college and maybe has to still quarantine for a while, but someone that's graduating late. They usually come back in May or perhaps even June, depending when their study commitments finish. But absolutely, we're looking globally for Australians that are coming back to the country and might be available to play. Chances are a lot of those players have already committed to a team in WA or Queensland or wherever their home base might be. So it's been a season like no other, where the demand for players has far outweighed supply.